Welcome to Q&A number 9. If you enjoy videos like this or just like seeing my face every week, make sure to like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I feel like I got a lot of really good and new questions this time. Maybe that's because my last Q&A video was 2 months ago, but I really like the questions and hopefully some of these answers should be interesting. And if you don't get the answer to a question that you're really curious about, leave it down below. I also post on my Instagram and YouTube community for questions. Do you hear my shoulder crack? Anyway, let's get on to the questions. Firstly, who are you?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
My name's Dana. I am a cuber. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've never seen my face before, welcome. And how to type faster. If you want to see more videos about typing, let me know. I do try to keep this channel cubing oriented, but I know that a lot of cubers are interested in typing. And I think for me, it's a mix of really spending time at the beginning learning the entire keyboard. So being able to say like, okay, where's the O key? And then being able to do that to essentially where I'm at the point where I don't need letterings on my keycaps to type. And then after that, it's just a lot of practice, which I got by doing assignments, programming, sending messages, and things like that. Why haven't you uploaded any videos recently? Quite contrary, actually. I upload at least once every week on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern, so here I am. Kilted Caesar asks, how much have you grown as a person since you became a professional cuber? One part of this is, I don't know if I'm considered a professional cuber, like you would have to define what professional here means, but since I've started cubing, I've absolutely changed because I started cubing when I was 9 years old, so between 9 and now have been a lot of times to just change as a person. So I'm not sure if it's specifically because of cubing that I've changed or because I just started cubing very young and I have just grown as a person. Not vertically, of course. I haven't really grown this way, unfortunately. From Instagram, do you invest on stocks? Yes, I invest in stocks, and subtle plug here, I have a second channel, the Dana Yee Show. I probably pointed to the wrong corner. I'm still confused by the way my phone flips things, but if you're interested about money, finance, stocks, investing, trading, go check it out. Swamp347 says, you like musicals, right? Very correct. How many have you been in? I've actually never been in a musical, but I've played in the pit of several musicals. And which one is your favorite? I don't think I could ever pick a favorite, but the most recent one that I listened to and watched was Shrek the Musical, and it's very good. And what's the last one you saw in person? So the last two I remember seeing in person, I saw, not on Broadway, but I saw Mean Girls and Miss Saigon, both of which were absolutely incredible. I love them and I miss musicals, and hopefully, I don't know, I'll be able to see them sometime soon. Taco Cubes asks, how many pairs of glasses have you had in life? That's actually a very good question. I think I've had 3. And if you go through my videos, you can probably see the exact 3 pairs that I've had. This is my 3rd pair. And on a similar note, Casey Flynn 0A asks, what glasses? I'm not really sure what type these are. I don't even know if they're branded, but I picked them out because they have the little bridge thingies. I don't know if you can see because I have a very small nose. So previous glasses that I've had where it's just the frame would slide off my face because small nose again. But other than that, I don't know the brand, I don't know like the style or whatever. Cubing Recoded asks, what is your fastest, English is hard, typing speed PB? Off the top of my head, from typeracer.com, I believe my fastest is 180 words per minute, and I average around 130, 140, and I'll put up a screenshot if I get it right. So yeah, I like to type. I type a lot, and I think I type pretty fast, so good question. Lukey Trukey YouTube asks, can you do a guitar cover? I hadn't really had any plans to do guitar covers because this is a cubing channel, but I can try playing something. It's a little bit hard to see the guitar. The most recent song that I'm learning Anyway, that was a tiny cover, I suppose. Manpreet asks, do you live with your parents? So actually, yes, I do currently. Main reason is because we are in a pandemic and I see no reason to go out and rent a place for $500 to $1,000 a month where I can just stay here and live here pretty much rent-free and not have to pay for too much stuff. And also, I do love my family, so it doesn't really bother me at all staying at home. Obviously, I do have plans to move out sometime in the future. Not sure when, but I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity while I can. Gannon.the.ca. asks, do you think comp nerves will get worse for everyone when in-person comps come back? I assume is what the rest of this says. I think the answer is yes, because one way that, at least personally, I got better at nerves was just to go to so many competitions that each time you're like, oh, if I mess up, it's fine. I have another comp like 2 weeks or a month from now or whatever. But it's been over a year, so going back in person, it's gonna feel sort of like a new environment almost. JDXN.NN asks, remember any physics formulas? So I actually actually really like science, but I don't like physics. For some reason, the first one that comes to mind is like PV equals nRT, but I think that might be a chemistry formula. Physics, I don't know. I don't quite remember anything. DNF37 asks, how torturous is listening to your own voice? And this is really interesting because if you'll note in all my videos, I'm wearing headphones because they're plugged into my microphone so I can hear live feedback of what the audio sounds like. I feel like I've been doing this long enough that I've just gotten used to it. There's definitely science-y reasons behind why most people hate their voice because it sounds different when you hear it talking versus you playing it back to yourself. It doesn't bother me anymore. This may be because I've gotten so used to what my voice sounds like. I like to think my voice is decent to listen to, but it definitely can be weird to listen to your own voice sometimes. How hard is it to cube, go to work, college, school, make YouTube videos, and still have life, like time to spend a few minutes relaxing and doing what you want? This can be extended to essentially, right, how do I balance all the things in life? And for me personally right now, that is like cubing, doing college, making YouTube videos for 2 channels, and like still doing things that I enjoy, like guitar, reading, going on walks, and stuff like that. Really just comes down to time management and what you value the most and using your time effectively. Raf Attack 1 asks, how long did it take for your channel to become popular? Firstly, thank you, but relatively speaking, I'm still a small channel. In terms of time, I started my YouTube channel 11 or 12 years ago. I didn't really upload then, and I don't remember when my first video actually was uploaded, but it was probably around 10 years or so at least 10 years, and in the past few years I've been spending a lot more time and effort, which I really think is where the channel started to grow. Timizark Show asks, what is your favorite programming language? I think it would have to be Python for its simplicity. I always have a special place in my heart for Java though, because it was the first language that I learned on, and I do like C and C++ from time to time, although they can get quite frustrating with pointers and weird bugs like that. On a similar note, Connor G asks, with regards to your programming, what IDE or text editor do you use? So for Python, I use VS Code. For Java, I use IntelliJ, and for C and C++, and occasionally from time to time, things like OCaml and whatever, I'll pretty much use VS Code. VS Code, I think, is a great, well-rounded IDE. Dorothy Velez, unclear, says, what's your favorite candy? I don't actually eat that much candy. I don't know what it is, but as I get older, I don't enjoy chocolate as much as I used to. My favorite candy is probably Twix. And do you think Beyond Meat is a good long-term stock? I have not done any fundamental analysis on Beyond Meat, and I'm not a financial advisor. If you do want to check out some finance videos though, got a second channel. So I don't know, I would have to do more research. All I know is that their burgers are pretty decent. I've had them a couple of times. Alexandre Barb ... asks, where was the farthest comp you ever went? Farthest from where I live in the United States would probably have to be Worlds 2019 in Australia, which globally speaking, I believe is the farthest you can get from the US. I'm not quite sure, but that was definitely the farthest that I've been for a competition. RR Human 2004 asks, how much importance do you give on cubing compared to studying? In my opinion, studying is much more important than cubing because studying, you learn things about various topics, you learn how to think for yourself, things like critical thinking skills, and like for me in college, learning how to program, which is a very useful life skill, helps you get jobs, careers, and things like that, whereas cubing is very important to me, but just on a life scale, cubing doesn't provide as much value as studying and learning about various topics does. Virus Vovac asks, do you think that speed cubing could be a job in a few years? I think that it currently is a job for some people. Some people have made businesses and living out of speed cubing. What's better, 炒面 or 小笼包? I feel like I eat 炒面 more, so I enjoy 小笼包because I don't have it as much. And if I'm thinking of the right thing, that's like the soup dumplings. So when you bite them, they like melt in your mouth, and like the soup and the meat and everything just tastes so good. Ugh. EC.Daniel asks, should I retire if I've been cubing for almost 6 years and still not being sub 10? I would say no, unless you're losing interest in cubing, in which case I suppose that would be okay. Jonathan_cap something asks, what keeps you from quitting? If you're disinterested in something, I think it's totally okay to quit, but if it's something you're passionate about, at least for me, all the things that I'm passionate about, I have this sort of motivation that I want to get better every day, sort of for the past 10, 11, whatever number of years. I've been like, okay, what can I do today to get faster? I think inherent motivation and passion for something. Liam Henderson says, without looking down, can you remember what shirt you're wearing? The only reason I can say yes to this one is because I record with my phone facing towards me so I can see what shirt I'm wearing. It's a Penn Engineering shirt. Fate Star NE2 asks, what video games did you play growing up? I actually did not play many video games. The main two that I can remember are Guitar Hero 3, and it's kind of funny that many years later I've come and actually learned how to play real guitar. The other game, that video game type thing that I really remember is, this must have been like 2005 or 6, I got a Game Boy Color and got Pokemon Gold. So those were really the only two video games I can remember. I never really played video games growing up. I didn't find them that interesting, and I still really don't. And lastly, Kai_Pinks asks, what is the powerhouse of the cell? Of course I know this. It's the mitochondria, because this is what they teach you in middle school and high school. They don't teach you how to file your taxes or how to save money. They teach you that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Anyway, those were some really interesting questions. I really enjoyed answering them. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, make sure to leave them down below. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.